You are here because you feel you have more. More strength, more possibilities, more life, but you do not use it. You are stuck. You are trapped, but not in a real prison. There are no walls. There is no fence. There are no soldiers guarding you. Your caissons are invisible. They are made of fear, not of real danger, not of pain, but of thoughts, of images that you create yourself. You imagine how you experience defeats, how others laugh, how you lose. And it is these images that paralyze you. Imagine a child who learns to walk. She falls 10, 20, 100 times, and every time she gets up. Why? Because she is not afraid that others will laugh at her. She does not think what others will say. She just does. And you are an adult, stronger, experienced, but you seem doubtful at first. You are like a lion who has convinced himself that he is a rabbit, strong, dirty, but sits in a cage that does not even exist. Mark Aurelius wrote, "We are not disturbed by things themselves, but by our imaginations about things." You are not ruined by defeat. You are ruined only by its imagination. Think about it. How many times have you made a decision not because of reason, but because of fear? A conversation with your boss, better tomorrow, a call to this woman, maybe next week, a project you dream of, not yet. And every time the stairs were closing tighter, every time you became smaller, outside, inside, you call it recklessness. But in fact, you are just afraid, because it would be fair to say, "I am afraid." Seneca wrote, "It is not because it is difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare, it seems difficult." This is what your life looks like. You are talking about risk, but the real risk is not doing anything. Think about all the years that have already been lost. How many chances did you miss? Thinking, not yet. How many relationships fell apart because you were silent? How many opportunities went out because you were waiting? Look at yourself. Are you 40, 50, or older? Time is running, and you are still sitting in your own head. As if in a prison, you are not powerless. You are just paralyzed by your own imaginations. This prison does not exist. There is only fear in front of it, and you feed it every day, waiting. Every postponement, every refusal, every tomorrow makes the stairs harder. Ask yourself, how many more years do you want to live like this? How long will you lie to yourself? How much more life will you give only because of the fear in front of the shadow? Therefore, act now. Subscribe to this channel, click like, write in the comments. I break the stairs, not for me, for myself. To force yourself, take the first step today, because these invisible stairs will not fall by themselves. You have to break them today, now, immediately. The biggest lie of your life sounds like this: if I experience failures, everything is over. And this very lie holds you by the throat. It makes you careful. It makes you obedient. It makes you safe and useless. But listen, failure is nothing. The real tragedy is stagnation. Stephen Pressfield called it stagnation. It is an invisible monster that lives in your head. It whispers, "Tomorrow." Not yet, you are not ready. And you believed in this poisonous voice. You waited, you postponed. You lived as if you had no chance. But here is the truth. Failures do not exist. There is only a lesson. There is only experience that makes you stronger, or weaker if you do not use it. Thomas Edison said, after hundreds of unsuccessful attempts, "I did not experience failure. I just found 1,000 ways that do not work." Do you understand what this means? The difference between you and the person who went down in history is not talent, but the willingness to experience failure again and again. Seneca wrote, "For those who do not know which shore he is sailing to, no wind will be accompanying, and you do not even hold on to the helm. You sit in the harbor, dreaming of the sea, and are afraid of the waves. You do not understand the main thing. A real failure is not a storm. A real failure is that you never went out to sea. Think, how many times have you not even started, just because of a thought? And what if it does not work? How many ideas have disappeared in your head, even before they appeared? And now, after years, you ask yourself, and what if you buried more dreams than you did? And every time the tombstone was a fear of failure. Ryan Holiday wrote, "Obstacles are the way, and you perceive obstacles as prohibition, but they are an expensive order. Where there is the greatest resistance, there is your task. You are afraid of what others will say if you fall. But people do not remember your defeats. They only remember whether you fought or not. Look at history. Caesar lost battles and still became a ruler. Churchill laughed and saved his country. Steve Jobs was expelled from his own company and returned even stronger. All the great men experienced failure, but none remained in place. They knew that loss is fuel. And you run away from the shadow. And the longer you run, the more it becomes. This is how fear works. It grows when you retreat, and dies when you act. Here is the cruel irony. The only way to overcome fear of failure is to fall and rise again. So stop feeding this lie. Failure is not death. Obstacles are death. Every step, even if it is wrong, moves you further than the eternal expectation. Your biggest mistake is not to lose. Your biggest mistake is not to start. And what will people think? This one sentence ruined more lives than any war or disease. You make decisions not for your own compass, but for other people's eyes. You act not for your truth, but for the sake of applause. And the most tragic thing is that there is almost no applause. And if there is, it lasts so little that nothing is worth it. It's bitter, isn't it? 92% of people don't think about you at all. They are too busy hiding their mistakes, supporting their masks, fighting their fears. And 1% who still talk about you. They will do it for a few minutes and forget. Their sentence is no more than smoke. And yet you live as if this sentence determines your fate. Ryan Holiday wrote, "Ego is the enemy." Your ego makes you dependent on someone else's assessment. You do something not because it's right, but to be seen. But those who knew, who lives for the sake of other people's eyes, will die from other people's tongues. Mark Aurelius reminded himself, "Soon everyone who sees you will forget you, just as you will forget them." Everything you are afraid of today is laughter, criticism, indifference. Tomorrow it will become dust. In 10 years it will be erased. And after death, it will disappear completely. And yet you allow this to determine your life. Ask yourself, how many times did you not tell the truth just because you were afraid to look strange? How many times did you keep silent when you wanted to speak? How many times did you reduce yourself to be liked by others? You sold your dignity cheaply for praise. But even if you apply, they will still speak. They will laugh no matter what you do. If you win, they will call you intelligent. If you lose, they will laugh at your failure. If you keep silent, they will call you weak. There is no scenario in which you will convince everyone. There remains only one question. Do you want to live for yourself or for the audience that will still disappear? Look at history. Socrates was ridiculed, but remained faithful to the truth. Seneca was banished, but wrote words that still inspire. Everyone who achieved greatness was ridiculed first. Natop will always be judged, but his sentence is nothing. Only one thing is important. Do you respect yourself? So stop being a slave to other people's eyes. Your life does not belong to the audience. Your life belongs to you. And as long as you focus on other people's sentences, you will never be free. You are looking for justification outside, not enough money, no time, too many obligations. But the truth is different. The world does not stop you. No circumstances, no enemies. Your biggest enemy lives inside you. It's a voice in your head, a voice that makes you weaker for any defeat. It says not today, later. You are not good enough. Sometimes it sounds reasonable, even worrisome. Better wait, prepare a little more, be careful. But in fact, it's a tyrant, an invisible ruler who keeps you small and obedient. Stephen Pressfield called him an operative. James Clear showed how he disguises himself under harmless trifles. A delayed call, unwritten speech, a decision that you will supposedly make tomorrow. This is how the enemy penetrates into your life. Not through a big blow, but through 1,000 small stabs, until you wake up one day, 10 or 20 years later, and realize that you yourself have become a participant in your own defeat. Mark Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external things. Be aware of this and you will find strength." But instead of taking power, you gave your thoughts away to slavery. The irony is that you are afraid of criticism from the outside, but the most brutal criticism sits inside. No stranger humiliates you as cruelly as you do, and you call it realism, but this is not realism. This is self-destruction. This is sabotage. Think about it. How many chances did you ruin before the world could even get in the way? How many times did you stop yourself without even taking the first step? How many times did you allow the inner enemy to win without fighting? The truth is this. You cannot defeat this enemy if you ignore him. You have to attack him in the forehead every day. You will not be able to force him to be silent, but you can decide whether you will obey him. So stop listening to this voice as an order. You are not his servant. You are his master. Make the inner enemy your coach. Let him speak and you still act. Because in the end, there are only two options. Either you destroy the inner critic, or he destroys your dreams. The choice you make today now. Enough excuses, enough self-pity. There is only one way, and those who know it. To act. Stoicism does not mean to avoid fear. It means to see fear and still move forward. You are waiting for courage, but courage does not come. Courage appears only when you act. Regardless of fear, Ryan Holiday wrote, "There is an obstacle, and there is a way. It is where you most hesitate that you should go." Your biggest obstacle is your most precise compass. You think, but I'm afraid. Okay, go with fear. You think, but I can lose. Okay, lose, but lose in battle, not in anticipation. Stoics were not dreamers. They were warriors of the spirit. They knew that words do not change anything. Only actions change. Mark Aurelius wrote, "When something external bothers you, remember, ask. It is not the thing itself that bothers you but your judgment about it, and you can change it at any time." In other words, the world does not stop you. Your judgment stops you. Change your judgment, and the way is open. But how did the Stoics do it? They had practices, memento mori. Remember every day that you are mortal. It sounds harsh, but it makes you free, because those who have accepted death are no longer afraid to live. Premeditatio malorum. Imagine the worst that can happen, and see that you can withstand it. So fear loses power. Morning reflection, just waking up. Ask yourself, what difficulties await me today, and how do I want to react? Evening reflection, before going to sleep. Where was I strong? Where did I hesitate? What did I learn? What did I learn from this? These are not games. These are weapons. The Stoics never waited for the right moment. They knew there are no ideal conditions. There is only this moment. And this is where the man separates from the observer. The observer says, the man acts. So enough waiting for motivation. Motivation is a lie. The only truth is discipline. You don't have to start from the big. You just have to start today. One step, one blow, one word, one action. Don't ask yourself, is it easy? Just ask, is it right? And if the answer is yes, do it. This is the Stoic way. No complaints, no hesitation, no expectation. Only action, every day. You are waiting for the big moment, for the same blow that will change your whole life, for a breakthrough, a great opportunity, an ideal time. Stop believing in this mask. Life is not changed by one blow. Life is changed by thousands of small steps. James Clear wrote, "Habits are percentages of small decisions. Every small action you do today works for your future, and every action you avoid steals your freedom." You think you have to turn your whole life upside down, but it's not like that. Freedom is not born from a big jump. It grows from countless small steps. Make a bell that you have been putting off for months. Tell the truth that you have been whispering for years. Write the first sentence instead of dreaming about a book. Do 10 push-ups instead of making excuses that you don't have time to train. Small victories seem funny, but they are an explosion. Every small victory is a hammer blow to your invisible prison. Every small victory is a slap to your inner criticism. And the best thing is that small victories multiply. One pulls the next one. One step starts the inertia. And one day you look back, and you understand how far you have come. Seneca wrote, "We have a lot of time, but we waste a lot of time." You lose your freedom not because of one big failure. You lose it because of thousands of small sacrifices. But you can also return it with thousands of small victories. Think practically. Write down 3 clear tasks every morning, and do the first one immediately. Start with 5 minutes, not with an hour. If you hesitate, count back, 3, 2, 1, and do it. It's not a trick. It's a war against your refusals. Your inner enemy loves it when you think big and don't start. But he hates small victories, because they are proof that you are able to act. And then something big happens. You start trusting yourself. Your self-esteem grows not from fantasies, but from small, everyday actions that accumulate. That's what real freedom is. So stop waiting for the big day. Freedom doesn't come at once. Freedom is a chain of small victories. And you can get them today. You wait. You convince yourself. Tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't exist. There is only today. There is only now. Every day that you don't act is a lost day. It's another piece of your life cut off. And this clock is ticking. Oh my. Are you acting or sitting still? Look at the sand clock. Are you running or standing? The grain is falling. Are you acting or dreaming? the grain is falling. And finally, your hand is empty. Seneca warned, "We have little time and we waste a lot of time." You will not die someday in the future. You die every day when you postpone, when you are afraid, when you run away from action. The cemeteries of the world are full of unrealized life, full of books that no one wrote, full of songs that no one sang, full of deeds that never happened. Do you know what unites these people? They said tomorrow, and you risk becoming one of them. It's tomorrow that you are waiting for. It will never come. It's an illusion that your inner enemy paints so that you stay in place. A bitter truth. If you don't do it today, you won't do it tomorrow. Because the most accurate indicator of your future actions is your current actions. You say, "I need more time." But you don't need time, you need courage. And courage appears only when you act. Mark Aurelius wrote, "Think how quickly everything disappears and is forgotten. Everything you are afraid of today, laughter, criticism, humiliation, will become dust tomorrow. In 10 years, no one will remember this. And after death, everything will disappear. Imagine your grave. Your name is on the stone. 2 dates, birth and death, and only a line between them. All your strength, your possibilities, your fears and refusals are brought to this one sign. And the main question, this line will mean courage or cowardice, action or distraction, life or postponement of tomorrow. Act now. Not tomorrow, not later, not ever. Now, subscribe to the channel, click like. Write in the comments what do you think, share, thank you.